All right, guys, welcome back to episode 7 of Commish'd. We're there. As you can see, got my boy Pat here. He's honoring us as a guest. We have him on because this episode we're going to be talking about what it's like to be commissioner of the league, some challenges, difficulties, how it is drafting when you're the commissioner there too. So, of course, welcome, Pat. Appreciate you being on here.
Pat. Thanks for having me, guys. Glad to be here.
Right. So first thing, and Tom, of course, he's a commissioner of the league that, Pat's in as well. So this will be, kind of questions for the two of you. But the main thing, Pat, first, seeing that you're our guest here, what would you say are the main challenges running a league?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. 12 grown men playing in a league for over $1,000. It's like wrestling a pig in a playpen. When you're going for the money, you got to keep an eye on these guys. Two most important things running a league: competition and integrity. The competition, that starts with the commissioner.
Yeah.
He's the one that sets the tone for the competition. It's the rules are instilled, the trades. That's the league's only going to be as intense as your commissioner is.
Yeah.
It's just how it's always been. And then the integrity, that comes from the players. The players are the ones that keep it cool, stay in the walls, right? Bounce in the walls, and I think that's what it takes to have a successful fantasy football.
I like that.
Yeah.
I agree. It's definitely cutthroat out there, but I think if you set the rules in the beginning, like, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is when you have to pay by, this is how trades are going to go. I think if you have the rules set in stone before, everybody should just follow it, especially when you have people that are in your league for 4 or 5 years, even more. Like, at that point, everybody knows what they're doing, what's expected of them. But at the end of the day, it's a competition. Everybody wants to win the money, so people are going to be cutthroat. But it's about trying to find that balance.
Yeah. And so, like, Tom, your league, it's going on your third year, right?
Third or fourth.
Third or fourth, and then Pat, this is your ninth year with yours.
No ship yet.
When I got 2 of them.
For now.
But like, as you find, as the season starts, you got everything set in stone with your league. You got all the money in. Is it easier or harder to run the league as the season's going on?
It's much easier to run the league at the beginning. That's when everyone's excited and ready to go. Once you have a team that's 0-6, that's when stuff gets crazy.
Yeah.
You got to watch these guys. We've had some scandals. The Chandler scandal of 2017.
Let's hear about that.
You want to hear about that? All right, so we had a team that was out of the league. They had lost. The playoffs were getting ready to start. That team picked up a player off waivers and somehow ended up on a playoff team.
Yep.
The Chandler scandal of 2017. That player.
You didn't rise.
We kicked him out of the league.
You definitely wasn't kicked out.
He's still here. You know who you are.
Winning championships.
You know who you are.
Wow.
Cannot confirm or deny it was me.
It was definitely him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think once the season starts, it definitely gets a little bit more difficult. Like Pat was saying, people who are having a tougher time, they're going to start to be a little bit more shady. In the beginning, everybody's amped up. Everybody thinks they're going to win. So nobody's really doing anything shady until they're backed into a corner.
Right. Till the money's disappearing.
Yeah. So with that being said, how do you handle, like, making sure the integrity stays true across the league with trades and moves, things like that?
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer of the league controls the outcome. Yeah. So, every decision we ever make is always up to the league. It's not a commissioner over everybody. At the end of the day, the commissioner does have the say. Yeah. But if we ever do a major rule change, it takes 10 out of our 12 votes, which is more than the majority of the league, so it's a good decision. Whenever we change anything in the league, if it's not brought to the table before the draft, it's already going to the next year. Nothing can be changed that year. Just it keeps the leagues not messy, keeps everything, you know what you're getting into this year. You can focus, and I think that's what keeps that integrity together during the mid-season. And plus, how many leagues have you been in where people are 7-7? I mean, there's always a chance to get to the ship. Most first place people don't win the ship. It's the 6, 7, 8 people that kind of sneak in. So there's always a chance. I'd say give 5, 6 wins, and you got a chance to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you just have to get to the dance, right? Once you're in there, anything can happen. But yeah, same idea for us. Trades. Most people in our league don't really veto anything. If it seems fair, like we're gonna do it. But we do put it to a vote. Put a screenshot of the trade in our group chat. As long as we get 7 yeses, put the trade right through.
Push it through.
Me, I'm not really somebody who's gonna veto a trade. I don't feel like most people do nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 2 people that can agree on something that works for both of them. Just let it happen.
See, and I'm in both these leagues. Your league, yes, it's 2 men agree on a trade. If it looks good, it's good.
Yeah.
In Pat's league, it's politics. Even if it's the most even trade you can possibly have, if it was Allen for Mahomes, because someone had Diggs that had Mahomes, and now they want Allen, and the other guy had Kelsey and he had Allen. It just, hey, a nice little flip flop. Yeah. No, it's people texting on the
Not
side.
that easy, dude.
Hey,
Not
man,
that
you need
easy.
to veto this trade. You need to accept this trade. It's 6 in the morning, and you got all these text messages. It's a full-time job.
Yep.
Trying to handle that, and I personally love it, unless you're on the side of you're about to get that trade vetoed. So it's interesting to see how there's like 2 completely opposite sides of the spectrum. With yours, send a screenshot. All right, it's probably approved in 5 minutes. Yours,
5 days.
send a trade,
5
and
days.
you're redoing trades. And I love it.
Yeah, I think as far as the politics go too, it's crazy because as much as people are politicking, you also got to watch for the people that aren't politicking at all, because those people have dirty trades, and you know that they're dirty trades because they never brought it up in the group chat.
Yeah, now your guys' league, it's pretty much been the same 12 guys the whole 9 years.
The last out of the 9 years, the last 6 years, I believe, or 5 years, we've had the lifers.
Yeah,
We've got everybody in here. We're still wondering about Devin. We're not sure yet, but we have the same 12 guys for the last 6 years. Prior to that, the Chandler scandal. We had once the guys were losing seasons, they stopped setting their lineups, and this is a job. This is business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, if you're not following through to the end, starting every person in your lineup. I mean, I've always said that when you're in the U League, the last place person could win a ship in another league.
Yeah.
So that's how competitive it is, and that's intense, man. It's a battle.
For sure.
And that is true, because you'll find like people who are doing bad in our league will start sending texts like, "Oh, my other 5 leagues, I'm in first place." It's like, that's cool. You're in
the
last.
ship in this league. I finished last in the deal. That was me.
Yeah, it's like, that's sweet.
One thing I do like about your league, from what I've heard from Ian too, is you always have to have somebody starting in your lineup.
Have to.
If there's somebody on a bye, they cannot be in your starting lineup. That makes this even more difficult, right? I mean, if you have 3 guys on the Bills who like Allen, Diggs, and James Cook on a bye,
Yeah.
and you
Somebody's got to go.
somebody's got to go.
Yeah, and that's setting yourself up for success. That's part of the league. The Bills wouldn't go out there and not play a kicker. You know what I mean? There's teams on buys. You got to figure that out. If you haven't made your bench able to handle the buys, you're already going down. That's part of the decline.
I know, like a lot of people in other leagues, they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stack my buys. I'll take a loss and then win every other week." But your guys, you can't do that.
Just lost your team.
It's
Lost
tough.
your team.
Yeah. And then, so with first and last place, like, what do you do for your first place? What do you do for last place? What kind of keeps it competitive throughout the season?
Yeah. So first place gets a boatload of money to start, but it's not the money that's important. Can I grab it? I'm gonna touch it.
If you want that juju on it. If you want that juju, just watch the ring, man.
This right here. This is what it's all about. 9 years fighting for this bad boy.
Yeah. It's tough to get there.
It's real tough to get there. And it's exhausting. Like you said, the text at 4 in the morning till 11 at night. I mean, it's a long season. It takes everything to get there. But first place gets a ring. We do a little ring ceremony. We're thinking about getting a gold jacket. Gets the name engraved on the trophy. Whoever comes in last place. Right now we have set up 10 tomatoes a team. 11 people obviously shooting tomatoes. That's over 100 tomatoes.
Just a firing squad.
A lot of people in the league don't like it. but it keeps people from wanting to not finish last. I mean, when I finished last, I was called ketchup for an entire year, and it was
Still are.
awful. It was awful.
The
I heard
OG
there,
ketchup boy.
I heard there was an alternative to the tomato throwing though.
There is. You got to get a tomato. And was it whoever lost its face on the tomato, or was it just Tony's?
It was just Tony's
That's
when we
even
did it.
worse.
But yeah, so the other idea that I brought up, because yes, I don't like physical punishment where someone can die, but whatever, call me a puss.
He got into a fight once, and his zipper fell down. I was there.
Still undefeated.
One fight, zipper down. He said, "Hold on."
My whole pants fell down. But tomato tattoo. So I mean, you got that on your body for life. So if you don't want to take the tomatoes, there you go. Take the tattoo. I mean, I would do the tattoo.
We got a lot of fresh skin in our league, though. We got a lot of people that don't have tattoos at all, and that's a crappy
One guy
way to start
the one guy was ready to do the tattoo, but he decided, that's not going to be my first tattoo. I mean, would be a memorable one.
No question.
But
no question.
I mean, do you have any for your league yet, Tom?
Yeah, so like they said, my league's it's a little bit newer, 3 years now. First place, obviously the money, but this year we are going to do a ring. I think we're going to do a trophy as well. Now that we're starting to get a little bit more established, everybody's staying in the league permanently. I think it'll be a good year to start that. We were talking about a last place punishment. We haven't figured one out yet. So,
We'll get some good options out there.
Yeah,
We'll
we do have
figure
a
that
few
out.
options. I know like the polar bear plunge was one. Getting drowned with ketchup and mustard.
A license plate bracket.
The license bracket. Yep. So got some options. Follow up on another pod, and we'll let you know what we come up with.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then obviously being, a fantasy football show, we got to talk a little bit fantasy football. Being that we just had our most recent draft in Tom's league this past weekend, I got to ask you both first. What would you say was your best pick that you had in your draft?
Yeah, so usually the best picks for me fall between 3 and 7 because everybody knows who the first round people are going to be. You're going to get a stud. But with that being said, my best pick of the draft was in the second round. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he somehow fell to the turn and the end of the second.
Yeah.
That's a top 5 receiver in my book. I got 2 top 5 receivers with Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra. That was definitely my favorite pick of my draft. I liked it so much I stacked it up with Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So, worst pick in the draft? Worst pick in the draft? I'm not stoked with Alexander Madison as my first running back.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we saw what he did with Cookout.
Yeah.
He's getting opportunity. He's on a good football team. Their offensive line is decent. When you start with 3 receivers, it's no backup running back. I got a starting running back. That's just, I would say on my team, and maybe Jared Goff. I like running quarterbacks just because that's kind of the way the league has changed.
Right.
And having that pocket passer strictly, it makes me a little nervous.
Well, you got it stacked, so it kind of makes up a little bit.
That's the only reason I took him.
Yeah.
And I got him in the 14th round. So at that point, I already
Why not?
secured a good bench.
Yeah.
And the quarterback was just sitting there. I knew he'd be available. So.
Bro.
Definitely. Speaking of stack, I would say my best was just a mix of the two. First round, I had the 11th pick. I went with Diggs.
Nope.
And then on the turn, I was able to stack him up with Josh Allen. So definitely expecting a huge year out of them. I think Diggs has something he wants to prove to everybody this year. So I think he's going off. My worst pick, the one that I'm most worried about, my running back 2, Miles Sanders. I do like him more on Carolina. I think their offense is obviously not nearly as good as what he had in Philly. So I think he could get a lot more carries. Their offensive line is a little suspect, though.
Yeah.
So, that might be a work in progress, but we'll see.
Wow.
Rookie quarterback, though. Rookie quarterback, check down passes. He can catch some balls. He's going to get more opportunities.
That's what I was hoping for, so we'll see.
Yeah. Having the 7th pick, I went in blind. Every time I was doing mocks, it was a completely different player each and every time. But in the first round, I was able to get Kelsey, and no mock that I did was he even available. He was going in the top 5 the whole time.
I was shocked he was there.
So
Shocked.
yeah, I had to go with him, and I've never had Kelsey on my team. I don't even think I've ever drafted a tight end before round 5 or 6. And then I really was pumped for him because I thought on the turn I could do what Hugh did, stack him, of course, with Mahomes, but someone snakes him, Jeff. So that I was a little bummed about, but still shocked that I have him. My worst pick, it has to be my quarterbacks because I kept just waiting and waiting. I don't think I took a quarterback until the 12th or 13th round. So I have Derek Carr, and of course then I have Russell Wilson. I do have Sutton though, so I guess you got the weakest stack there. With you guys' teams, how do you think you guys are going to finish this year?
Well, before I tell you how I'm going to finish, let me tell you how you're going to finish. So listen, Kelsey last year, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 105 catches, 115 catches. I'd like to think that that was Kelsey's peak with Patrick Mahomes. And especially being a Bills fan, I would hope that that's his peak.
Oh, yeah.
But I see a 15% reduction this year in Travis Kelsey.
15%?
I'm saying 1,100, mark it, read it, 1,100 yards,
Put it right here.
10 touchdowns, and the targets don't matter.
Targets don't matter?
Targets don't matter. If he's catching
Targets
balls, he's
matter.
scoring touchdowns. Who cares how many times it is?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I think Kelsey's obviously still top 3 tight end in the league.
And receiver.
Number 1, obviously.
Yeah, I think he's easily number one.
Number
still.
1, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think he doesn't have as good a year as he did last year.
I mean, last year he went off.
Went
So
off.
it's going to be tough to have the same year he did last
Exactly.
year. But
All right, guys, make me feel good about it. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, it's a 2-time champion in our league. So anything I can do to make this guy look bad and make me look a little better.
Well, you held the trophy that I'm 2 times, and you're 0 times.
Damn.
But how do you think you'll finish in this one?
This is my year. This one. No, honestly, I'll let you know after the draft. You know, it all comes down to the team I get. You know, you never know who's going to fall. When you do these mock drafts, you pick these perfect teams. You send your boys all these pictures of all these crazy players that you got. Well, all your boys are thinking the same thing you're thinking. So those players are never available when you draft. You know what I mean? It's a complete change up. Your team is completely different. And there's a panic mode that kind of sets in when the players that you've been drafting in mock drafts for 3 months, they're not available. And now you're stuck between lesser tier people and you start panicking. That's how teams get thrown off. That's how you end up drafting an extra receiver when you really needed a running back.
Yep.
So that's why, you gotta, it all comes down to the draft. I would hope number 1, but I've been number 12 a couple times. So
I'll tell you what, before I tell you where I think I'll finish, I was shocked in our draft we just had on Friday. Christian McCaffrey went 5.
Yeah.
5.
He kept
Bijan
falling.
number 2, right?
Bijan went number 2.
Bold.
Shout out Jordan.
I like Bijan, but that's risky.
Not over
Very
CMC,
risky.
in
That's
my
risky.
opinion, but hey.
I mean, he could prove us all
Manage your
wrong.
team.
And have a monster year.
That's
but
how you win a league, though. Taking
Or-
shots.
Shout out Jordan.
Yeah.
Where do I think I'm going to finish, though? I mean, I've won this league 2 out of the 3 years we've had it.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, you gotta be confident. I'm winning again.
So we have all 3 championships in this league at this table,
Me and
minus
you.
Ian.
Minus Ian.
Yeah, there's definitely 3 here.
Ian's got the goose egg. But yeah, I got 2. Pat won 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Wow.
So Ian's looking for his first. Not gonna happen this year.
Not with the Kelsey as the first pick, unfortunately.
Derek Carr and
I mean, I love my team. I think I'll finish easily in at least the top 5,
I did in
maybe top
2019
6.
if you're in our league, send trades.
Yeah, definitely send some trades for Kelsey. I mean, do I think that right now how my team stands, it's a championship team? No, but I think I can get it there. I need one piece, and it's a quarterback. So
Here's what I can confidently say: nobody at this table is coming in last.
I would agree. Yeah.
There is one team that is coming in last. I can
And it's your
guarantee
brother.
it. It's my brother.
Yeah, and
Kirk
then,
Cousins in the 5th. Took Jerry Jeudy in like the 6th or 7th.
when Sutton was still there,
Yeah, he's toast.
yeah, and I will say the thing about Ian is that Ian never drafts a good team. You know, the Jordy Nelson. I can't go on a podcast without bringing up, Ian picking Jordy Nelson with his first round pick after he had already tore his ACL.
this is like 9 years ago.
You know
Okay?
that's
my
funny.
first
that I'm-
ever draft.
So he tears his ACL and Ian takes him, but like the thing with Ian is Ian really never drafts a good team. You know, it's that run at the very
That's
end.
so true.
It's that run at the very end. I don't know how he does it, but he always you count him out,
He makes those trades when he needs to. Though.
and he sneaks in, and all of a sudden before you know it, he's in another championship, and you're thinking like, how the heck did he
Told
get
you.
here?
Check those schedules late.
Yeah, he's got something at the end of the season, but he ain't a starter.
It's how you finish. It's how
It is how you finish,
It
dude.
ain't about how you start. It's how you finish.
I mean, you got trophies all over this room.
Yeah, well, just there, but
Yeah, they can't see. I wanted to make it look.
yeah, they're everywhere. They're
There's trophies
Got
everywhere.
shelves and shelves. And
Lots of shelves of one trophy.
Yeah. Well, as always. Thank you, Pat, for being on here and peeing on us. Peeing on my team.
That's
I
how
guess.
you let me go?
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat, for peeing
Pissing
on
on
us.
him. You beat on my team instead of
Can't help you
poop
took
time.
Travis Kelce in your first pick.
But Tom, you gotta send us off, man.
Yeah, watch out for some more content coming here in the next few weeks. We've got some big things coming. But yeah, like always, if we ain't your commish, stop being a